What's up, ACL Nation? The first ACL Open of the year is in the books. We're going to recap those results for you, as well as welcome the champion of that first Open, both in singles and doubles, Steven Bernacet. This is the ACL Throwdown. Yes, like I said, ACL Nation, we're going to have Steven Bernacet on the show this week, a winner at the ACL Open, #1 on the season just outside of Chicago this past weekend, so stay tuned for that. But first, my hashtag Trace Takes. Let's recap those results from that first ACL Open of the year. West Dundee, Illinois, the site of the first ACL event of the year, and this format, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it is a ton of fun and it gets you a ton of games and really is going to be a breakout format and something that we really love and will continue to use throughout the rest of the season. ACL Rounders kicked off the weekend. Players competing as a doubles team in a progressive round-robin format that gave you 8 games of competition on the day. From there, you were seeded into singles and doubles double elimination brackets for the following 2 days. And those next 2 days were a ton of fun for some of the players. Let's look at some of the results. Again, like I said, your performance in rounders dictated how you finished or what bracket you were placed in singles and doubles. So level 1 was our top division, earning advanced level points towards open standings. Level 2 earned competitive points towards standings, and level 3 earning intermediate standings. But regardless of your rank, regardless of your skill level, how you competed in rounders and how you performed on that day would determine what level you were placed in the following day. A great format. So in level 1, our top tier, let's go through some of our results. Some of our ACL pros from the Great Lakes Conference and some surrounding conferences had a great showing on the weekend. As I said, Steven Bernacet walks away with a first place prize in there. A fantastic performance, went undefeated on the day. In the finals, he took down ACL pro Jay Rubin. For those of you knowing the ACL on the national stage, you'll be familiar with Rubin, most recently his appearance in the ACL Pro Invitational, and he and Lester Price winning that Galveston Pro Invitational qualifier back in May. So Jay Rubin gets himself a nice strong second place finish on the weekend. Second in each of the respective brackets. There were 2 brackets per level. So in second place in each bracket, we had Damon Dennis and Mike Jacquez. So both of them ACL pros having strong finishes to start the season. Damon Dennis was hot pretty much all tournament long and really just ran into a flamethrower and Jay Rubin coming through that loser's bracket. And then finally, we'll go down to third in each bracket. Vince Passione, who is a new ACL pro. I'm really excited to see how he performs this season. Comes in very confident and a strong skill set. Also third place in the other bracket, Steve Schroeder. Moving on to level 2 and level 3, we'll just do the winners here. So level 2 singles, Brandon Sternad takes down Christine Papke in the level 2 final. And in level 3, Ben Close takes down Marcus Galladay in the finals of level 3. So congratulations to all those singles finishers. And you earned some good points there towards 8 open standings, trying to qualify or stay an ACL Pro for the 2021-2022 season. Moving on to doubles. And again, Steven Bernacet taking down the day. He was on fire, averaging over an 11-point round average in the finals game. Unbelievable performance. He wins alongside Tom Gustafson, another first-year ACL pro. So I really have high expectations for those two, given who they had to beat in the finals, none other than Philip Hayden and Damon Dennis, who walk away with a second-place finish. Dennis and Hayden obviously have the ability to win an ACL National. They've done it before. They'll probably do it again. So hats off to Bernacet and Gustafson for their performance. I love watching Tom Gustafson play. I hope he makes a broadcast one day this year so I can break down that very unorthodox throw. Moving on down, we'll cover third place, and that goes to the Ochoas, Taco and Steven Ochoa. They take down third place, a non-pro team, but certainly a pro caliber team out of the Great Lakes Conference. Congratulations there. Let's go down to level 2 and level 3. Level 2, Trey Baker and Drew Baker take down Mike Pfaff and Chucky Love in the finals of level 2. And then on to level 3, Ben Close having a strong finish. Even though it was a slow start to the week, he gets a strong finish. He and Brianna Close take down Marcus Galladay and Russell Post in the finals of level 3. So congratulations to all those winners. And finally, and just to kick off the week, we had some of our women's and senior singles. Senior singles, Damon Dennis takes down the victory there. No surprise there. Four-time he's a back-to-back world champion in senior singles, no surprise. And then women's singles, Yeti Irwan gets her first signature win. She takes down Christine Pappy in the finals there. So congratulations, Yeti, on that first ever big win. A great weekend. Shout out to Josh Keck, ACL National Director, and Joe Harsh, a Northeast Conference Director, that made the trip out there to run the event. It was a successful event. We look forward to many of you joining some Opens this year. We have 9 on the schedule. That schedule has been released, so check that ACL schedule out at iPlayACL.com. Click on the news tab and see the full season schedule right there. We're gonna have at least 9, more than likely end up with 10 to 12 open events this season, so make sure you get to one and put your best foot forward. All right, let's get to my conversation with the champion from that first ACL Open of the year, Steven Bernacet. He's gonna recap his first ever signature win and see what his mindset is going into this first year as an ACL pro. ACL Nation, I have the champ, Mr. Steven Bernacet, from the ACL Open #1 in West Dundee, Illinois. Steven, man, what a weekend. What a performance that you put on, man. I asked you before the call if it sunk in. You said it's starting to, but how does it feel to be a champion, to win singles and doubles at an Open?
Man, first off, I just want to say thank you for having me on, Trey. It feels good. It feels like all the nights of just throwing, constantly practicing, are starting to pay off. The results that I know that I've wanted for so long are starting to come. Just overall, man, it feels really good. It feels really good, especially to be able to be a caliber of a player like Jay Rubin in the finals in my home area where I play.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It meant a lot. It meant a lot. See all my local baggers who I play with cheering for me. Man, it was something special. Something I won't forget ever.
That's awesome. You'll never forget that first victory. You never will forget that. And it was a significant one for you. You mentioned the win in singles. Let's talk about that for a second. So singles, you were on fire. I mean, nobody was touching you that day. You said, again, you said it before the call, you thought that singles final where you played against Jay Rubin was the best singles match that you've ever played. Kind of walk us through what was the mentality and kind of how good were you feeling in that finals match?
Well, when I first got there that day, people were telling me that the boards were slick. And if anyone knows me, the faster the boards, the faster the beds. That's perfect for me. And once I started warming up, I knew right away that, hey, I just put my loft up and let the bad do the work. And that's all I did all day. I just let the bad do the work. And I threw really well all day. Couple games struggled, but a lot of singles games. But once I got to the finals, I went down 9-0. I just kept telling myself, like, come on, just get on the board, score, settle down. I was really amped up for the finals. Who wouldn't be,
Right.
And I just kept telling myself, do not get shut out, but just get on the board. And I had to do an airmail drag to get one where it just settled me down. And I was like, all right, I can do this. I belong here. I can do this. And I made the comeback and I finished it off. And I was out of energy afterwards.
Yeah, it was a long day, a lot of throwing, a lot of bags, but a fantastic performance. And then, you turn around and in doubles playing alongside Tom Gustafson, another first-year ACL pro, and you two, you get down in the winner's bracket, get knocked down in that loser's bracket, but the resiliency, I think, was the key. You guys fought through an incredible double dip. Walk us through that. Talk a little bit about how you two were able to kind of overcome, being in the loser's bracket and having to beat Philip Hayden and Damon Dennis, a stout team in the pro division, having to beat them twice.
So start off doubles. We started using my Vipers, and we threw good our first game, and then we ended up playing. It was our second game where we lost. We didn't click. I could tell Tommy was struggling a little bit. I didn't really throw. He's struggling. It's my job to be perfect or close to it until he finds it. We're a team. I can't get down on him. I have to just be perfect. And after we lost, he came to me and he said, "Hey, let's switch the widows. He needed a little slower bag, a little fuller bag." And after the switch, I told him, I said, "Look, I'm not mad. Don't be mad. Don't worry about it. Let's just one game at a time." And that's all we did. And we got all the way back, and I kept telling him, one game, just one game, one game, one game. And that one game turned into, I think, 9 games in a row we played, and ended up double dipping Philip and Dane, which, by the way, they are an incredible team. Oh my God, they don't miss much.
No, they don't.
Yeah, it was awesome to double dip them. I was really proud of how Tommy shot after we switched bads. He made some big shots. It was not just me. I mean, he made some big shots. So I was really proud of Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic performance, impressive to watch, fun to watch. And like you said, taking down a really special team in Philip and Damon. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
As we get out of this first Open of the year, you kind of emerge as a champion in singles and doubles. And one thing, I mentioned this to you earlier, but one thing that I think is so special and unique to you is kind of your journey in that you weren't a player that joined Cornhole and got into Cornhole immediately and was immediately good, right? There are so many young players now coming up. There are so many 19, 20, 22-year-olds who it just, at least to me, it feels like they pick up a bag, they play for 6 months, and all of a sudden, they're fantastic players. But that wasn't the case for you. You really played for about 3 years before whatever you did this last 12 months, you kind of just flipped a switch. So for the people at home that may be in a similar situation to you, what was the secret sauce? What was the key to your success to go from a good, decent player to a really great player?
Well, one thing is obviously one of my sponsors, Ultra. When I got that Viper in my hand, it was, literally it feels like Mark Pryor made that bag for me. So the slick side of the Viper, not a lot of people can throw it. I can throw the slick side of the Viper consistently, and I just throw it higher. But the main reason I think is my other sponsor, FanBats Cornhole, Brian. He let me into his shop, and it might sound crazy to some people, but I would go there every night I didn't have league. If there was a national, a regional conference, if anything was coming, I would throw 500 to about 1,000 bads a night, just consistently throwing by myself, not keeping score, not doing the ghost, just throwing. And that obviously has taken my game up to a whole nother level, because like you said, when I first got into it, yeah, I might have been decent. I might have been on, I could put 12, 16, 20 in a row, but it wasn't happening all the time. Now I feel confident. I don't get nervous. I just think I'm back at the shop practicing. And that's really it. Just throwing a lot. It's a lot. Not 1 or 2 hours a day. I'm talking about I would be there 4 to 5 hours every night, just throwing a lot of bags. That's all it came down to me. Once I really started loving Cornhole, I started, watching these guys that I kind of knew when it was on ESPN. I'm like, man, I would love to play cornhole on ESPN. And I was like, but I have to put the work in because these guys, they don't miss.
Yeah.
And when they do, you need to throw a 12. Like you said, 10s don't score on ESPN. 10s don't score. You have to throw 12s consistently, be able to hit big shots, and just gotta put in the work. If you really want it, it's not really work. It's just you're doing something you love. So yeah, that's about it.
Hey, it may be a cliche, but practice makes perfect has been true forever, and that's certainly applies to cornhole as well as any other sport. Kind of looking also at this season, playing doubles, obviously with Tom Gustafson. You talked a little bit about kind of the dynamic that you two have, or at least had at the first Open of the year. But why Tom? Why playing with Tom, and kind of what's it like having him down at the other end?
So the reason I picked Tom, one of the reasons was we're close to each other. We can throw regionals, we can throw conferences, we can throw regular tournaments, just regular BY, bring your own partner tournaments, build a chemistry. And I always knew of Tom Gustafson when he was, when he used to shoot with Sutton back in the day, way back in the day, before I even knew what cornhole was. And I've always heard of his shot. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh yeah.
Throw, yeah. I'm still getting used to it too because of the angles he comes in. I think of him as a righty, but he's not really a righty. So these bads he can go around, and the angles he comes in is completely different.
Right.
And I'm still getting used to it. Like a couple of times at the Open, I would tell him, hey, if you think you can get it, because I don't know if he can grab that bat.
I just don't know.
I have no idea if he can go this way, if he can go left to right, if he can go right to left. I'm still learning. But outside of cornhole, man, he's a really good guy. I had some, I won't say names, but I did have some current ACL pros hit me up after the pro qualifier, and they were like, do you have a partner? Would you be interested in signing with me? But none were close. Couple were established. I mean, I would have picked them. I think I would have had a really good season, but I mean, just the opportunity to throw at someone at that caliber, and then him living 45 minutes away from me, that was really the factor that made me pick Tom.
Yeah. And that's certainly an element you have to consider. Yeah, I mean, to be able to be great together as a team, you need to play together as a team. And
exactly.
So
I didn't want to just fly out to a national and, hey, let's see if we have it this weekend.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing for me. So
yeah, and I think that's a great way to look at it. So, all right, you've obviously got a big win under your belt, an Open event, and it's a great way to start your first season as an ACL pro. And as you look kind of towards the rest of the season, it is going to be your first year. And so at those ACL Nationals, those shootouts, those world championships, you're going to be playing against the best in the world. And I know you have high expectations for yourself, and I'm starting to develop some high expectations for you as well. So in your first season as a pro, what are you looking to accomplish this year? What is your mindset going into this year?
So for the very first national, I've been telling everyone, I know that first down, my very first 4 bads in singles, doubles, I'll be nervous. I know I will. It's just getting them, the first 4 bads out of my hand, I know I'll calm down after that. I would love to win a national with Tommy. Doubles, I mean, I know his drive. I know him coming back into the game after taking years off would be awesome. I actually had Ryan Windsor texting me last night, and he was like, first national, me and you come up in singles against each other. It's 21-17 me all day. And I'm like, I don't know, Ryan. I think I get you. I was like, I'm going to get you 21-20. But no, me and Ryan are really good friends. So we joke. He's reached out a lot to me after this weekend and congratulated me. Singles is a little different for me. This first national, I told myself, if I can be at the final 4 of my bracket on the winner's side, I think I could really, I'll say it. bust some brackets open. If I can get into a rhythm and tell myself, okay, I do belong here. I do belong on the other side of the board of, these guys, then I really think I could bust a bracket wide open.
And honestly, I completely agree. I think you got the talent. I think you've shown that you can compete with the best. And really for you, it's just going to be about that mental side of the game. And I think you have a great mindset going into the year. And man, I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate it. I really do.
ACL Pro and champion of the first ACL Open of the season in both singles and doubles, Stephen Bernacet. Mr. Bernacet, thank you so much for joining me this week. I appreciate it. Keep celebrating, and hey, get squared up for that first national. Here we go in February, and we'll wish you luck in the pro division this season.
Thanks, Trey. Appreciate you having me on here.
Stephen Bernacet, thank you so much for your time this week. A breakout star in the ACL Pro Division. Congratulations again. Stay tuned to see how his season plays out for the rest of the year. I got a feeling he's going to have a very successful season. Well, with one ACL Open in the books, we have another one scheduled, another one out there. You can check it out. It will be in Centralia, Washington. You can go to iPlayACL.com, click on the news tab, and check out the full event page for that second ACL Open of the year in Washington State. You can join us on Thanksgiving weekend for that. Registration is open at app.iPlayACL.com. That's all the time that we got this week for the American Cornhole League. This has been your host, Trey Ryder. We'll see you guys next week.